Hey guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my first book haul of 2025. Now I don't really have a ton of books to talk about, but I have received some books as gifts over the holidays. I have purchased some books since the last time I filmed a book haul, and then I did sign up for a new book subscription service. So we'll go ahead and get started. So speaking of the new book subscription service I signed up for, it's called Aardvark Book Club. Now I have seen a few people over on BookTube talk about this subscription service, but the majority of people who I have seen get books from them is over on Instagram. They're sort of like Book of the Month. You guys know that I am a part of Book of the Month. I absolutely adore them, even though their picks can be a little bit of a hit or miss. This kind of works just like Book of the Month, where you have your 5 main picks and then you could do, I think it's up to 2 add-ons. They are smaller, I believe they are growing, and I was convinced to go ahead and check them out, so I did. So I signed up for them in December, so I have December picks and some January picks. So starting with my December picks, I have 2. This is the first one. This is from their main 5 picks. So this is The Serpent and the Wolf by Rebecca Robinson. This is, I think, a adult fantasy romance. So it says a fake marriage meets enemies to lovers in this author's steamy, thrilling romantasy debut. I've only seen a few people talk about it, and from those people, they seem to really enjoy it, so I wanted to go ahead and check this one out. So my other pick for December is American Rapture by C.J. Lead. This is a adult dystopian, and a little blurb just says, "Never been kissed, about to get screwed." It's about a virus spreading across America, transforming the infected and having them feral with lust. We all know a buzzword for me is virus. And so that was what inspired me to pick this up. But I've also seen a ton of rave reviews for this one, so I'm excited. So moving into January for my Aardvark book picks, the first one I have is Cross My Heart by Megan Collins. This is a adult mystery thriller, and it says she has his wife's heart. The one she wants is his. And I've also heard really good things about this one. And then my last pick that I have from Aardvark for January, this is The Reformatory by Tanana Reed Dew. You guys remember I read this, I think, the year before last. It's been a while, but I had an arc of it. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. But Aardvark was offering a special edition of this because it was like their book of the year, I think. And so they came up with this really cool edition. So if you remove the dust jacket, this is what it looks like. I absolutely love this foiling on it, and the color scheme just looks like that all the way around. So definitely like this without the dust jacket. And it is signed by Tanana Reed Dew. If you have not heard of this, this is a book that's set in the 1950s, I believe. And we're following this young boy who gets sent to this all-boys reformatory school for kicking this white kid. And then we watch as he experiences all of these horrific things while he's there. It's a really hard story to get through, but it is one that I enjoyed, and I'm really excited that I got this edition. So moving on to my Book of the Month picks, I got some books from December and January. I have quite a few that I picked up from December. The first one is She Really Going Out With Him by Sophie Cousins. This is a adult romance. I've already read it. It was one of my top books of 2024. Absolutely adored this story. We're basically just following this woman as she's rebuilding her life after divorce, and she's going on a lot of wild, wacky dates, and she ends up falling in love with someone that she didn't expect to fall in love with. So I think Sophie Cousins is really underrated. I don't hear a lot of people talk about her, but if you want to check her out, this is a good place to start. Another book that I got in December is Definitely Better Now by Ava Robinson. This is a adult fiction, and it says a touching and deeply funny debut about starting over sober, only to discover life's biggest messes are still waiting right where you left them. Have not heard anybody talk about this, but it was something that I wanted to check out. Next up, I have Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. This was actually released in January, but Book of the Month had it as an early pick in December. I was planning on reading it in December until Gabby from Gabby Reads invited me to co-host with her book club for this book in February, which I'm really excited about. So that is when I will be picking this up. But this is a adult mystery, and it says, this is a gripping and deliciously dark thriller about marriage and revenge. And from what I understand, this man's wife has gone missing and he is, of course, trying to find her. I have heard nothing but good reviews about this. I didn't really care for Alice Feeney's last release, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy this one. And then the last pick that I got for December that I actually already read in the month of December, that is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. This is a adult mystery with romance in there, and I did rate this one 2 stars. So we're following these 2 authors as they're being sent to London to spend the holidays with the woman author's favorite author, and then that author went missing. That probably sounds really confusing, but that's essentially what it's about. It's compared to Knives Out. From what people have told me, Knives Out isn't the action movie that I thought it was, and what I was missing in this was like a lot of action is what I was expecting to get from this. So if you like Knives Out, then I would definitely check this out, because it sounds like this is more in line with that and not in line with what I thought it was going to be, but this was just fine. And then I have 2 picks from Book of the Month for January. The first one being The Favorites by Lane Fargo. By the time you see this video, I would have already posted a dedicated review for this. I absolutely adored this book. I gave it 5 stars. This follows 2 ice skaters. They're in a relationship, and we kind of get the story starting from when they first became partners all the way up until like the 2014 Olympics, because something happened during that time, and it's like the story leading up to that. Love this. I had seen a lot of people really raving about it, so I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but it was a pleasant surprise, and this is definitely one that I would highly recommend. Then my last pick from Book of the Month for January, we have Isaac's Song by Daniel Black. I would consider this adult fiction, and I want to say this is like part 2 or book 2, because a couple of years ago he came out with Don't Cry for Me, which was the father of Isaac telling the story of their relationship, and now this is Isaac's story. And this just says, it's a novel about a young queer Black man finding his voice in 1980s Chicago. I'm really excited about this because when I read Don't Cry for Me, that was the first book by that author I had ever read, and I was blown away with the story, so I'm really excited to get into this one. So now I want to go ahead and move into the gifts that I have received for Christmas from my friends and family. The first one that I was really excited about is I got a new Kindle Color Soft from my father. I had mentioned that these were coming out. I didn't actually ask for it, but I just casually mentioned to him that these were coming out, and then I actually got it for Christmas, and I'm really excited about it. Now, I know a lot of people had some complaints when this first came out, and I do not see, or I don't have the same issues that other people said that they have. So this is actual Kindle. I do have a case on it. You're not actually able to really see the color that well on screen, which was a problem that some people were having. They were saying that the color was kind of grainy and it wasn't as vibrant. And to be perfectly honest with you, I was not expecting the color for this Kindle to be that vibrant. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be the exact quality of, like, let's say my iPad. So I was okay with the vibrancy that we do have with this. And then I know some people were talking about they seen like a really weird like line at the bottom of their screen. I don't have that problem. I don't see that. So I'm actually okay. I'm gonna try and show you guys the color, but it's probably not gonna do it any justice. Like, you can kind of see it, but I mean, you could definitely tell that it's color. It's definitely different. So the Kindle that I had before this, I had the 10th generation Kindle, and honestly, I didn't really need another Kindle because I don't really read from my Kindle that much, but they had a color one, I wanted it. So I'm perfectly fine with this. I'm satisfied with it, and I'm excited that I have one. So I have two gifts that I received from my sister. This is the first one, Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole, book 1 in the Kindred's Curse saga. So I've been picking up a lot of fantasy romances lately, and this is one that I've had my eye on. One, I really, really like the cover, and of course I've heard good things about it, but it says, when old secrets catch fire, everything will burn. And the inside cover is pretty cool. And I think this is like one of their newer editions for this book. I could be wrong, but I am excited about it. The other book that I got for my sister is The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. I have definitely had my eye on this one for a while. This is a adult romance. And it says, a shy bookworm enlists her charming neighbor to help her score a date, not knowing he's the obscure author she's been corresponding with in this sparkling and heart-fluttering romance. So excited for this. So my friend Alex also got me two books, the first one being Next of Kin by Kia Abdullah. This is an author that I have been hearing a lot about, and I wanted to read something from them, so I got this one. And I guess it's following this woman who was supposed to drop off her nephew Max. Something happened with that. And it also says it's a gripping, brave, intense courtroom drama that will keep you on the edge of your seat until the final heart-stopping page. I actually like courtroom dramas, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy this one, because there's another book by this author that I also have my eye on. So if I like this one, then I will most likely pick up the next one. And then Alex also got me Swiped by L.M. Chilton. This is a adult mystery. I have read this. I gave this one 3 stars. It was fun while I was reading it. So this one is about this woman who has started going on online dates. And for some reason, every person that she has gone on a date with has ended up murdered. And so she becomes the prime suspect, and then she decides to take matters into her own hands and find out who is trying to frame her for these murders. Fun time. Even though I only gave it 3 stars, this is definitely a story that I would recommend if you're looking for something quick and easy to fly through. And then another gift that I received from my friend Alicia. Her channel is Birdie in the Book, so I will have that link down below. But this is The Secret Next Door by Rebecca Taylor. Now, she knows that I love mess, and she thought that I would enjoy this one. So it says, it's the perfect neighborhood filled with not so perfect people, and I think someone's gonna die. So that's all that I need to know. Mess and murder. I'm sold. Now, the rest of these books I'm going to talk about are books that I just randomly purchased over the last couple of months. So this first one that I got is The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. A couple of you guys have actually recommended this one to me because I really enjoyed The Housemaid, and somebody had specifically told me that this was the original Housemaid story. So then I was intrigued. So I went ahead and picked this up. And I don't really know what this is about. I can assume this is another story about a housemaid. So I'm really excited to get into this one. So then I actually got a copy of Brooklyn by Tracy Brown. So this was in my top books of 2024. You guys know, obviously, I adored this story. This was my first book by Tracy Brown. And we're just following our main character, Brooklyn, as she is living her life in New York, trying to survive and dealing with the fallout from her family. And this gave me really like nostalgic 90s vibes with the books that I used to read back then. So I ate this one up. But because I liked that one so much, I've been wanting to pick up more from Tracy Brown. And someone specifically suggested that I start with this one. So it is Hold You Down. And this also takes place in the late 80s and early 90s. And it looks like it's about these two mothers that are young mothers and they are determined to survive in New York City. So I feel like it's kind of giving me the same vibes as Brooklyn. So I hope that I enjoy this because there are some other books by Tracy Brown that I also want to check out. So next I bought the 10th book in the Wayward Children series. So this is Adrift in Currents Clean and Clear by Shawnee McGuire. Even though I have this physical copy, I am waiting to listen to the audiobook because I can't remember which book I started listening to the audio, but I love the audio versions of these. And so now I just feel like it's not right if I don't listen to it on audio. So I'm currently patiently waiting for an audio copy to become available. But this says Giant Turtles, Impossible Ships, and Tidal Rivers, written by a drowned girl in search of a family in this latest book. So I'm excited to see where the 10th book will go. Next up, I have another one of my most anticipated reads for this year. The previous book I just talked about is one of my most anticipated. This is also one of my most anticipated. This is Breath of the Dragon by Shannon Lee and Fonda Lee. Love this cover. It has red sprayed edges, and this says a young warrior dreams of proving his worth in the elite Guardians tournament, fighting for not only himself, but the fate of everything he loves. Now, I've seen people have been purchasing this, but I have not seen any reviews, so hopefully it's good. I actually have no doubts that it's gonna be good, and this is probably a book that I'm hoping will be a 5-star read for me. Another anticipated read that I got is Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. So this is a book that I'm really looking forward to because all of the reviews I have seen thus far, people have really been enjoying this one. And this is about a virus, and just a little part of this synopsis, it says families across the country are tearing each other apart, literally, as people succumb to a form of possession that gets worse the more time they spend glued to cable news or falling down internet rabbit holes. Again, we know a buzzword for me is a virus, so I'm really excited about this. So then I have The Vegetarian by Han Kang, and it's translated by Deborah Smith. I don't believe I have seen anyone talk about this one, but it's about this woman, I think, who decides to become a vegetarian, and then some weird stuff starts to happen. So I'm intrigued with this one. Then I have 2 holiday books that I just did not get to this year, but hopefully this winter I can circle back on those. So I have The Christmas Appeal by Janice Hallett. I recently read one of her books that I will be talking more about in my next recent reads. I read The Appeal. I was told that I should read The Appeal before I read this one because there are some characters from The Appeal that show up in this. So I read that one first. It is no longer the holidays, so I'm no longer in the mood for this, but it follows these people who are trying to put on a play, and I think the Santa dies. Like, the Santa ends up dead. So it says, one dead Santa, a town full of suspects. Can you uncover the truth? So like I said, I'm waiting for the winter time to pick, well, the winter time as far as like the holiday season to pick this up. Another one that I just did not make it to during the holiday season, that is The Mistletoe Mystery, a May novella by Nita Prose. I was excited about this because it is a holiday story. And it says, 'tis a jolly Merry Christmas at the Regency Grand Hotel in the season for the most important investigation. So again, we're following Molly the maid at the hotel as she's trying to solve yet another mystery. And again, I will circle back around to this one when we approach holiday season again. Next up, we have Small Game by Blair Braverman. And I picked this up because I heard a couple of people talking about this, but it sounds like something that I would enjoy. So this is a adult thriller, and it says it's about a survival reality show gone wrong that leaves a group of strangers stranded in the northern wilds. The reason why this one kind of caught my attention is because it's about a survival TV show, reality show, and I love reality TV, so I'm hoping that I will love this. So I bought yet another fantasy romance. This is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, and it's funny because almost every person that I have seen talk about this said that the first book was not that great, but then they were blown away by book 2. So I'm intrigued. So this says, a maiden must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom in this dark, lush, gothic fantasy. Can't wait to read this. And then the last book that I have is another adult mystery. This is For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. I wanted to go ahead and pick this up because a couple years ago, I read a twisted love story by this author. I was one of the few that actually enjoyed that story, so I wanted to check out something else from her. They also have a book coming out later this year, which I'm really excited about. And this just says it's a sneaky thriller set at a prestigious private school, complete with interfering parents, overeager students, and one teacher who just wants to teach them all a lesson. I've heard good things about it, so hopefully I will enjoy it. So these are all of the books that I have purchased within the last few months. Please feel free to leave a comment down below if you have read any of these books, and please let me know your thoughts. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.